Hello everyone, Rimea here, and welcome to my playthrough of the second world of Super Mario Moonlight World. If you didn't catch the first part, I played through the first world in that first episode, or whatever. I guess that makes sense. And this is not a desert world, even though it might look like it. There's like one desert stage in this entire world, I think, or maybe two if you count the lava stage, which is kind of desert-like. But yeah, for the most part, this is just like random levels that were left after I filled the first world with like forest levels and plains levels and whatever. These were just the leftovers, and I did consider making this world look more like interesting, but then like there's no real theme that any of the levels or like all of the levels really follow. So there wasn't really anything I could do except just keep it the same and just like just make it a level pack, just whatever. So this level actually does follow the right level thing. This is the desert. And as you can see, this is a nighttime desert, because the whole point of Moonlight World is that every single level is nighttime. Also, the whole point of playthroughs is that I don't die, which I almost did just now. But yeah, so this is Muncher Mall Mesa, which is another level name that we came up with. Because what connects me to this mod, for the most part, except for the fact that I also made most of the tile sets, is that I kind of compiled this mod into this level pack myself, with the help of some friends like Dr. Tricky, who bolted the music. Yeah, for the most part, it's just me, like kind of polishing up some levels a little bit and putting them into the world and whatever. And that's how we've ended up with this mod. Because this mod was actually, for the most part, made back in like 2019. But then the mod's creator, VK, decided to leave the internet, to kind of focus on real life stuff. And that's totally a respectable decision. And so he left me and some other people to fix the mod and kind of try and release what was made for it. And that's how years later, or well, at least over a year later, we've ended up with this. And all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way this all turned out. And yeah, so my task for this mod was basically just fixing up, some level stuff here and there, and putting it all into a releasable package. For example, the way to get into this bonus room originally involved going into a horizontal pipe with Yoshi. But if you've ever seen like Yoshi going through a horizontal pipe in like mods or whatever, it actually looks really strange, and that's because they just didn't really make the animation for Yoshi going through horizontal pipes like proper. Like you kind of stick out at the bottom and the top. It looks really weird. And I guess Nintendo knew about this because they avoided putting Yoshi in any horizontal pipes in any of the, in Need for Speed or Need for Speed. So, yeah, that's also why I had to change that for that section there. The tune that you can hear right now, that is actually composed by myself. That's a track that I composed for Super Mario Evolution originally, actually. But then, for a time, there was like this idea of merging Super Mario Evolution and Super Mario Moonlight World into one mod. That didn't end up going through, but what did happen in that time is that that the theme I made kind of got like a remix by Pokerster, who's one of the composers on the mod. And so that's the version that ended up in this mod. But I'm still probably just going to end up using it in my own stuff as well, because it's fine, whatever. But yeah, it's a bit strange that this theme that I composed for a different mod ended up in this mod as well. But oh well. But yeah, thanks to Dr. Tricky for importing all the music. I know it took a lot of effort and a lot of pain and trial and error and whatever, and it's quite nice the way it turned out. Anyways, I'm kind of just like running through this stage, and there's not much happening. This is not one of the more interesting levels, I suppose. I guess I do like a lot of the ways the star coins are hidden in this stage, but for the most part, or the moons, I should say. But for the most part, it's quite, just generic desert stuff. There is a lot of mechanics though. There's like munchers and moles and pokies and sand pillars and scale platforms. That's a lot. Oh yeah, now we're gonna get the Nabbit cutscene, and yeah, I did actually have to add in Nabbit to both the stages that he will appear in this mod, and that was the whole thing. In fact, for a time, I think I switched around 2-6 and 2-Castle, so I actually had to end up doing 3 different Nabbit paths for Nabbit in this mod. But luckily, for the most part, it really worked out. Like, for example, 1-1 is a really simple stage, which is one zone for the most part, so, he was perfect for Nabbit, pretty much. I think I also changed the text here to say, yeah, Moonlit Meadows. There you go. Awesome. I don't think we're gonna go catch Nabbit though. I don't really see the point for the most part. Alright, on to 2-2 or Moonlight Wilds -2, Hucker Crab Hullabaloo. Speaking of, yeah, I kind of keep feeling like I complain about levels a lot, but I don't really love this level all that much either. Like the thing I hate most about this level is the tile set. Which I did make all of the elements for this tile set pretty much, but like the combination of this grass and this ground and whatever was thought up by VK. I just don't really like the way it looks, particularly with the way that like everything is colored. It's like just like the green, like the the kind of like bluish green, really doesn't match with the kind of gray brown ground in my opinion. It just looks really strange, like orange. It's just Yeah, I don't know. I don't really love the way that looks. It kind of doesn't quite ruin the entire stage for me, but it kind of detracts from it quite a bit, in my opinion. Right. This is also, I think, the only stage to feature these background rocks with star formations in them, and that's a little detail I added to some background rocks for a tile set I made for Moonlight World. I don't think it was even this tile set, but I guess VK really liked them, so he added them to this tile set as well. In hindsight, it's weird that I didn't make moon formations, but star formations. It's not Super Mario Starlight World, so who knows? Maybe that's a sequel. But yeah, it's Moonlight World, so that's weird. I don't know. Yeah, this is a lot of generic water stuff. In fact, this is almost like an entire beach world rolled into one. You've got like water geysers and urchins and hucker crabs, and now we're gonna have a whole underwater section. Like a lot of the main beach mechanics are used in this one stage. This here, I think, is taken pretty much directly from, I think it's Small Super Mario Bros. U or Small Super Mario Bros. U 2. And actually, like, making this stage, or, well, messing with this stage, reminded me of the fact that rolling urchin mechanic is a thing at all. Which I guess was originally used in that way in Small Super Mario Bros. U or U2. I forget which one it is. And yeah, that prompted me to make that rolling urchin level, which I showed on my channel, like a week ago or something. Yeah, it's so weird having this random underwater section in this stage. Like, Nintendo also puts underwater stages in their beach worlds, of course, but they never really just put it randomly into a level, like, halfway through like this. I find it's a bit weird, because it doesn't, like, I guess the urchins are here, but for the most part, it's just completely different mechanics, and it just doesn't really mash, in my opinion. I don't know. Also, really lazy moon right there. Yeah, I should probably not really be complaining about this stuff too much, because for most of the things you're looking at the moment, most of this was all just made in 2019, which is, quite a while ago at this point. It's 2 years ago, jeez. So for the time, most of this stuff was made before, like, Desert had even released. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's quite impressive for the time, at least. Yeah, where is this moon again? All right, no, I remember. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now we're back to the beach theme again. So it's not even half of the stage, it's more just like 2/3 or whatever. And my controller just disconnected. What the heck? Okay, alright, and here's the third star coin. Also really quite simple. You don't even really need that vine for it. Like, you could also just use the Lakitu, or I think you could even just make that jump. So it's a bit strange that that's there at all, but I do kind of like the idea of using a vine in that way. But yeah, that's 2-2. Now on to 2-3, which is actually the first stage in the mod that I made, and not VK. Yeah, so this is 2-3, the Booze of Barrel Bay. And you might recognize that name and also this stage, because I already showed this stage on my channel like a year or two ago. I don't really remember exactly when. And yeah, this was a stage I originally made for Cloudy 2, but I decided against actually using it in that mod because I didn't really love it that much. I still thought overall it was not that bad of a stage, so when it came to making Moonlight World, and I realized, like, oh crap, there's like not enough stages to fill 2 worlds exactly, I decided to, rather than just making the mod like incomplete in that sense, to just add 2 of my own stages and retile them with Moonlight World tile sets. So yeah, this is not the tile set that the stage originally used, though I do actually much prefer the way this stage feels with this tile set compared to how it was before. I also did decide to make the stage a lot, well, not a lot, but a bit better at least than the way it was, because there was a lot of things in the original stage that I didn't really love. For example, the first moon, which is coming up right here, like, it was just chilling on that barrel there, but now it's like, you jump on the barrel and then the moon appears, which is still not amazing, but it's a bit better, at least it's kind of hidden and stuff, and it's kind of more like, oh, you get a moon for, having your curiosity peak by a random barrel, instead of it just being, there's a random moon, that's it, So, yeah. I still don't know exactly why I decided to do a bonus room with just a red coin ring. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not something I usually do. And it really does feel kind of random here, especially in the way I just don't really use the mechanics in any way. It's just like, oh, there's 2 boos and some platforms, and that's it. But yeah, for example, one of the ways I did improve the stage is by adding this little random section here. It just adds a little bit more life to the stage, you've got some coins and stuff, it's nice. The original stage was really empty and that kind of thing, but I also added like a bunch of background tiles and all these decorations, which are of course all from the Moonlight World tile set, and I really like the way those feel on the stage. You can get some, well, you could always get 1-ups here if you had like a Koopa shell, but you can still kill boos with ice blocks and that kind of stuff. That moon is still really simple, but once again, kind of like with the other moon, I improved it, I think, by just making that moon only appear when you jump onto that same solid. But it's more about, actually being inquisitive enough to, jump onto that platform and see what's up. So, yeah, I guess this is a little bit better. bit random that this section doesn't use the underground tile set, but instead uses the, just like the ghost tile set or whatever. And that's just because I didn't really realize that the ghost background didn't scroll up high enough for this section when I was tiling it with this tile set. So that's why it, kind of wrongfully uses this tile set instead of the proper underground tile set. And I couldn't really be bothered changing that, but it still is an underground section in the end. So yeah, whatever. Also, I just got the third moon, which is, I guess, is not the worst moon. It's probably better than the other two moons in the stage, but I still feel like I should have had some kind of bonus room between here and the pipe we just came into. But instead, this just leads you to the top of the flagpole, which I guess is still better than nothing. Okay, and now on to Moonlit Wilds Dash Tower Spinning Cog Spire. I don't think this stage was originally even intended to be a tower, but it looks like a tower and like half of it is vertical, so like might as well, right? So yeah, I think this is supposed to be like 8-Castle 1, like the stage that originally has the rising lava and like the metal platform and the bounce ramps and stuff. I think that was the function that this stage was supposed to serve. But instead I felt like it made a pretty good World 2 tower, but yeah, whatever. And actually, fun fact, this background here was also used in Volcanic 2, Volcanic 2's World 1 castle, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think this stage was really meant to use that background. I just asked Willy for a lava castle background, and this is what he gave me, and I feel like it fits pretty well. This is kind of a fun breakpoint section, like the fact that this works out, it's kind of cool. Yeah, overall this is quite generic lava stuff with gears. It's basically a lot like the World 1 castle from New Super Mario's Wii, except I guess it also has like a vertical section and stuff. And it also has a little bit more mechanics, and I guess it's a bit better because it does use things in a little bit more interesting way, I would say. Like the World 1 castle from Rimea basically just spams those gears for the most part and not much else. I kind of forget that this section even has rising lava, honestly. Like you can go up so quickly that it's not really that big of a bother. This is the best moon in the game, obviously. Look at that, it's a great design. At least the coins popping out are kind of cool, though they do kind of come out of nowhere, but whatever. Also, this section actually uses just the lava background from this mold, and that's because the other background that I showed doesn't actually have enough verticality to really cover that zone. So the way to get to that moon right there is actually to go back into the pipe, which I feel like is kind of indicated by the fact that it branches out from the same pipe. It's still not the best thing in the world, though. I feel like a lot of people are going to miss that. But at least this one is attached to a bonus room, so yeah, it's fine. Not the most interesting bonus room in the world, but yeah, it's decent. And now on to generic World 3 Boom Boom, if I'm not mistaken. Very difficult boss fight, as usual. Alright, but on to 2-4 then, I suppose. But before we do that, I do also have some edited enemy encounters here. If that fiber really didn't want to get fought, that was great. Yeah, so these are just, the same thing, but the tile sets and backgrounds and whatever have been swapped. So I did decide to put that effort into these. And there are actually a lot of enemy encounters for World 2. I think there's like 8 or 9 stages or something to edit, because the game kind of randomizes which one to use, I believe. So it was actually like, like a solid hour or 2 or whatever to make all of these. Okay, and this next stage might also be familiar to fans of the channel, Swaying Swiss Summit. The stage is called Swaying Swiss Summit because there's also such a thing as Swiss cheese. And this is actually the cheese stage I showed on my channel like a month or 2 ago. What was it called again? Savory Scaffolds. But now it's a snow stage actually, because I wanted to use like a Super Mario Moonlight World tile set and that kind of stuff to keep that Moonlight vibe. And so I think the breakable cheese blocks from that stage also got changed into these breakable presents, which are from Mario 6 Christmas, of course. Yeah, now it's just a full-on snow level. It's kind of weird how it starts out in an ice section, but I kind of like it as well. Like, you don't often have levels just kind of randomly start out in, like, underground, but it kind of feels right, almost. It's a bit random, but yeah, I don't know, I don't mind it. Yeah, for the most part, this stage has been kept the same. Yeah, no, there really isn't much different. I just kind of tried to improve it wherever I could, but for the most part, the real problem with this stage was just trying to retile it into what it became, because there was a lot of like little specific tiling decisions made in this stage that were just for like the cheese thing, and it was weird adapting that to a snow tile set. But I think it worked out in the end. Yeah, that platform still spawns in like that. It still looks jank. In fact, in general, I still kind of dislike this stage. It's not good. I don't know, it's just too many zones, too many random, like the bonus rooms are all just super generic, but there's also like a lot of them, and like, yeah, I just don't really love this stage, honestly. Even though it does have like some interesting mechanical uses here and there, like what's coming up with these platforms is kind of cool. I feel like I should have focused in more on those than trying to, like, you know, just spam the section or the zone with like the level with like a bunch of zones and stuff. Also, in addition to this level, or this version of the level, is the flippers. And I feel like they kind of, you know, you can definitely tell that they weren't really intended for this level because they're kind of just there. They don't really work all that well. Oh, I just skipped out on the crap. I was trying to get all the moons in this playthrough, but yeah, no, I just destroyed my chances to get the second moon, which is down there into that pipe. Oh well. But yeah, like the flippers are just kind of there, and they don't really have like any real integration into the level, but whatever. They still work to, you know, kind of give that level a little bit more of a snowy feel. Like it was always intended this way, which of course it was. This was never a cheese stage. What are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah, this section here is once again underground, so it kind of justifies why the first section was also underground. Like this is like a semi-underground level, I suppose, or ice underground or whatever. I do like the way this guy kind of climbs these semi-solids here. He actually starts out at the very bottom. Makes for a slightly interesting challenge, I suppose. This stage was also made drastically easier. Like especially this section here gets really ridiculous at some points. Like there was like originally a Venus ice trap down below there, but he could like freeze you, and then if you were frozen, there was a good chance he would just like freeze in midair and just fall down and die. Even though that really shouldn't be the punishment for, you know, just getting hit once. And then this dark run, or actually this was originally the secret exit, but now it's the dark run. It was so insane. Like it was just crazy. You had to go into that pipe for like this whole section, and you'd get the third star coin. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like there were like two piranha plans, and the platform was going really quickly, and like you had to just barely time getting into the pipe. It was ridiculous. So I'm happy I decided to make that change. You know, I was feeling totally comfortable just changing my own stages up as much as I could, because, you know, they're not VKs, so there's no reason not to touch them wherever I could. Yeah, this river is a bit annoying here. Can he actually hit you? Oh yeah, he can, I guess. And yeah, then a Molcar certified goalpole, I believe this was. I believe he was in the call when I made this. But yeah, that's a bit different from how it used to be, I believe. Now this upcoming stage, it's a bit of a weird one. Bouncy Billow Berg, which Berg they're short for, you know, iceberg, I guess. But it's also just actually a word apparently. But yeah, so the weird thing about this one is just how short the stage is. The stage is like not quite the Wii U length, but it's not really big enough to be a complete stage. Yeah, it's still like originally it didn't even have a midway. I did decide to add one, just, you know, it would be weird if it didn't have one. But it's like you know, it's almost coming up at this point. You know, there's not much to this stage really. Well, there is quite a lot to this stage, but like it's really short. I do actually quite like the, you know, the vibe of this stage. I suppose it's quite unique. It's not even slightly difficult because you get propeller blocks, and propeller blocks make life easier in every sense possible. Not to mention there's also a propeller suit in the stage, I believe. Speaking of that propeller suit, actually, I think the original stage also only had like one power block inside the entire stage, pretty much, which is weird. So I added a little bit more. Yeah, I think the midway is already here, which we've barely started with the stage. I think we've been going for like what 60 in-game seconds. So yeah, it's nothing. But yeah, I do like the, you know, the mechanics that this stage uses, and it doesn't really do it in any interesting like or super unique ways. But I still kind of just like the vibe of this stage. It's super simple, but like the timing is pretty nice overall. And it just has a nice vibe. And I do like the mechanics that it did choose to use, even if they didn't end up getting used in the most of interesting ways. You know. Yes, for example, that power up there wasn't there originally, but I added it. Also, the world's best moon right there. Super hard to get. But yeah, this is pretty much the ending of the stage already. Oh, you can't go into this without without dropping your prayer book. Oh well. There's a bit of this weird, big, empty ending section here. I think it didn't even originally have any enemies. I just added that power creeper because. But you can also go back here. And here's an interesting moon. So yeah, this is a snowball. Of course, it's just a remodeled Growl. Shoutouts to Willy for doing that last minute. But yeah. It's just this random moon. It doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the stage, but I guess it's kind of interesting, yeah. And yeah, another kind of simple goal pole that used to be way like that spinning platform was like right up against that goal pole originally, which I suppose made getting the top really easy. But in order to, I suppose, satisfy Molcar's demands, I decided to move that over quite a bit. But yeah, that brings us to the penultimate stage of the mod, which is Moonlight Wilds -6 Fire Dune Frenzy. I believe this stage was like shown off on VK's channel at some point, so it might be familiar to some of you Moonlight World aficionados. I don't know. And I feel like it probably had a level name at that point as well, which is in the title. Maybe not. I don't know. We just came up with like most of the level names in this mod. Yeah, VK didn't really give us any clues as to what they were supposed to be. So yeah, that was the whole thing. I think the only real big change to this stage that I made was just making it a little bit easier, because like especially towards the end it gets a little bit crazy. For the most part, this is quite a cool stage. It's kind of like kind of like the beach stage, I suppose, in terms of it kind of just like spams, or not really spams, but it uses every single mechanic just about that you would associate with fire or like lava, you know. But I think it does so in an interesting way, and there's some cool setups here and there. Like this is kind of a cool bonus room, I suppose. This is quite nice. I almost died there, but we're good. Yeah, I think this stage might break a record for the amount of fire bros that are in one stage. It used to have even more, in fact. I think there's probably like around 8 or 10 or something fire bros in this stage. Which usually you only see like maybe 4 or 5 bros in one stage, if the stage even contains bros at all, of course. But oh well, I think it's still quite cool. Like for example, this section here is pretty nice. I like the way that it kind of uses lava waves, but only really subtly. Like they're kind of just there, but they don't really interact with the player for the most part. They mostly just act like normal lava, but it's like sometimes they do still come into play. It's quite cool. I do really like some of the things in this stage as well, like that hidden one up there. There's a lot, just like an insane amount pretty much of little hidden secrets in this stage, and I really like the way those all play out. I suppose these red coins, you kind of just have to get lucky with the orientation of the fire bars there, you know? Yeah, you know, for the most part, you don't really care about the lava waves until like sections like these where they actually do come into play a little bit, and that's kind of cool. I like it. I like there's some random coins up here because why not? You know, might as well. It's like a what is it? It's like a mushroom block in there or something. I don't know. Let's hope we don't die. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, this stage used to be even more difficult, but like there was like more fire bros, more pretty-boos in this last section here, all that kind of stuff. I feel like I might have also skipped out on the third. Oh no, that's here, right? Okay. I don't really like how similar this entrance is to the entrance for the first bonus room, you know? They have just the exact same thing, but like slightly more difficult because of how low the ceiling is. And even this bonus room isn't like really all that interesting. It's basically just like Nismarba's Wii, whatever it is, 8-2? Is it 8-2 or 8-3? I don't remember which one. No, I think it's 8-2. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. That's the penultimate stage of the mod, and I guess now it's on to the final castle, which isn't actually a castle, spoiler alert. Yeah, so this is Moonlight Wilds - Castle Sumo Mountain, which is, you know, just kind of like a mountain kind of stage. But I felt like, you know, this stage ends in a boss fight, and also it kind of does have like a cool final sort of feeling, or like a very unique vibe at least. So I feel like this kind of fits in the castle slot. Originally, I did actually have that last stage in the final castle slot, but I don't know. I just feel like this one fits better, especially because of the sumo boss at the end. I really like the other two moves in this stage, but that one's a bit like meh. Like there's like no real indication for it other than I guess there's just some coins up there, but like. It just feels out of place in a stage with a bunch of secrets. That's the one that's you know, that one contains a moon. Of course, this stage also uses the Niwa like bamboo tiles, which I think actually those are made by VK himself. I think the tiles, like the climbable part, might be built made by me, but like, he actually customized the way the tops of the bamboo look himself, which I think looks a lot better than what I did for was it like Niwa All Stars or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, this is the second moon here, and I like this one quite a bit, you know? Kind of like what the first moon should have been like, I feel. But yeah, oh, I guess I missed the third moon. Oh, crap, there was like I think there's like a bonus pipe I missed. Damn it. Oh, whatever, we also missed another moon earlier in this playthrough. Yeah, this is onto the the final boss fight, I guess, the sumo boss. Which I guess is actually one of the harder-ish boss fights in the game for sure. Especially with the way VK set it up here, where there's only one platform you can hit him from. Yeah, it definitely creates a little bit of a harder boss fight than especially than Boom Boom, but even probably than some of the Koopalings maybe. I don't know. So if you get the rhythm down, I suppose, you know, like the way it is with the one platform in the middle might make you think it's always going to be harder, but because you're always going to end up hitting him on all of the other platforms, he's gonna jump back to the middle like right away. So like, as long as you're like on point with your timing, You can always just hit him, you know? See? Like that. So, yeah, it's not actually that difficult in the end. Oh well. But yeah, that's it for this mod, guys. There is, I guess, one more thing to check out, which is kind of like, weirdly enough, maybe the most unique thing in this entire mod in the end. Which is something that I kind of decided to like spend an evening on trying to get working, which we'll see after this little cutscene, I suppose. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this whole playthrough and stuff, and you know, I hope you really enjoy playing this mod. I guess it really has been a long time coming. I think this mod was in development since 2018 or maybe even 2017. I don't know. I know VK has certainly been modding or was modding like since like 2017, 2016 even. So I don't know. Yeah, anyways, that unique thing is the fact that the credits are all just this sign right here. This is actually a custom layout edit I did, and I also edited it to where you couldn't access the other two worlds from here. So I'm trying to press down and up right now, and you can see I can't go there. All I can do is read this sign. So yeah, this is just like a custom layout edit. I changed the positioning of the text that was originally on this sign, and I also changed the sign graphic itself to have that little logo there. Weirdly enough, with the way the sign graphic worked, I couldn't really get it to like display the logo properly, like in like full color and stuff. So I decided to kind of go for this more like stylistic logo, I suppose. But yeah, that's really it for this mod, guys. So I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe, all that sorts of stuff. Share it with your friends, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.